In this episode of The Whole Hog, I am joined by Kristen Clark, speaker, author, and founder of Me-taphysical. She is not here to sugarcoat life. We are talking reality of creation and why it comes back to you. Ditch the fluff and own your power.
I have no idea, Kristen.
I know.
I was like, I know she's there, but she's not there. I don't know where she is.
I know. I knew you were there too. I was just like going, I'm always like off in a side room or something anyway. So I'm just like going, okay, I'll just wait.
Oh, well, hi, good evening. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for coming on. So excited to have you. So excited to have you.
So good to be here, Michelle, and see you.
Oh, amazing. So just tell everybody all about you then, please. Tell us.
Oh.
Tell us who
So
is
here
Kristen?
we go.
Yeah, what is it you do?
You know, that is such a wonderful question because isn't it an ever evolving thing ourselves, who we are? And you know, we get I was just talking with a friend in India about this, about how, you know, I don't know, 20, 30 years ago, I had this image in my mind of who I wanted to be. And I knew what she was going to look like. And I knew what she acted like. And I was just like, oh, I want to be her. And the funny thing is I look back at the pictures of that time and I was her. And yet I didn't know it. I didn't know that. You know, whether it's you want to be thinner or more sporty looking or richer or whatever. It's so funny. It's almost like we're so caught up in just being alive that we don't realize we are already exactly everything we're shooting for. And maybe everybody outside of it, us sees it and we don't.
So true.
Yeah, right? So who is Kristen M.F. Clark? You know, at this time in my life, I'm just really boldly being me, you know, and how many of us just, you know, think we're too much, who we are and our beliefs and our ideas, because nobody else is talking like this or thinking like this, so who am I? And, you know, there comes a time where you're just like, I can't not be me anymore. I can't pretend to be something I'm not because, you know, you live here 24/7.
Absolutely.
And yeah, she's the one or he's the one talking to you all the time. They're the one that's always answering your questions. They're the ones that are constant when everything else comes and goes throughout your day and throughout your life. There's the only one thing in your entire reality that doesn't come and go. And it's right here. So, you know, for me, it's about, I do what's called the me-taphysical, not metaphysical, the me-taphysical.
I've seen that.
Yes. And, you know, it's really because everything always does come back to you. When you have a question, it's arising from you. The answer arises from you. And whether you're playing with law of attraction or law of assumption or Christianity or Buddhism or non-duality or none of the above, it is always arising from you. It's kind of like you're a radio and you get to play different stations, right? Sometimes you're country and sometimes you get like, you know, reggae and sometimes you like rock or whatever.
Yeah, or you flick through them all.
Yeah, right? All the above. You can't decide. But none of it means anything about the radio. You know, the radio just is receiving the frequency and putting out the frequency. And none of it says anything. It's like, that's not a rock radio. That's not a country radio. It's just a radio. And, you know, this is who we are. And so I get people ask, you know, who are you? What do you do? And it's like, it depends on the hour of the day. You know, I'm Kristen Clark, and that's what I do. And that's what we all do.
I love love that, because it is, and it comes down to that, because we are ever evolving beings, we're ever evolving. So who we were yesterday, last week, last year, 5 years ago,
5 minutes ago.
we're just forever changing, and it's so good and so refreshing to accept that, to know that's part of the growth and the process of life.
And that's normal.
Yeah.
That's normal. And how many of us think we're not normal because I can't decide on my niche? Well, that's because you never were meant to. You're not this one-dimensional thing. You
Yeah.
are multidimensional. You are alive. You have feelings all day long. You have, in fact, I was in the gym this morning and I was talking with this gentleman, and we were talking about how, your mind wakes you up at 3 a.m. and you're worrying about something that you got no control over. And he was talking about how he would try to quiet his mind and this and that. And I said, you know what? I said, I've come to realize that that's the biggest line of bullshit out there. And anybody who says that they have achieved nirvana and can
Yeah.
quiet their mind are full of shit. Because
Never gonna happen.
maybe for this 30 seconds over here you do, and then boom, because we are alive. It's so important to understand alive is the unbelievable, different, constant aspects of who we are. We're happy, we're sad, we're rich, we're poor, we're all of it. And the reason we can't achieve just one thing is because we were never meant to.
No, we were never meant to be put inside a box. And that's like the thing, don't put yourself inside a box, and don't be so niche, and don't be so one directional.
Or go ahead and try.
Yeah.
Let me know how that works out for you.
You'll end up like a freaking Jack in the Box, it'll pop up like all of a sudden. I get out of here.
It's that restless leg syndrome is just going to launch you out of there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so true. And so did that make you come up with that metaphysical then? Is that where that all came about?
That was just one of those odd things, because I've always loved the metaphysical. I've always loved that the metaphysical means so many different things. But basically, bottom line is that it's a looking in the direction of the magical, right? The magical, the things we really desire and love. And, we can play as stoic as possible, but there is a part of us that just gets very excited when it comes to, I don't know, superheroes and dragons and angels and just all Santa Claus, our whole lives, we've always looked longingly towards the magic. And the thing I realized, and I was just looking at the word metaphysical, and the two first letters just really jumped out at me. And I realized that for all it's like they're a sandbox, I'm in this sandbox, call it law of attraction, for a little while. And then, like you said, the box, you outgrow it. And the toys in that sandbox are boring now. So now I'm going to go over to this one. And this one over here is called law of assumption. And, that one's fun. And I love that a friend of mine, we were talking about how we outgrow them, but not because they don't work. They very much work, but in the way that a hammer works for a nail, not a screwdriver. And there's going to be times where you might go back to that methodology, especially we find when we're in a desperate state. We might go running back to some methodology we used years and years and years ago. But that's just where we are in that moment. And then in the next moment, we're off onto something else. But it always comes back to me, right? It's always a methodology that is within me. It's always an issue or a problem that's within me. And it everything in your reality, you are the creator of, because like I said, everything comes and goes. Everything comes and goes, but not you. And how crazy is that, that you're the only thing? And yet everybody's like, don't look that way. That's being, egotistical, or whatever words we want. And how's that served us?
Yeah. And but I suppose as well, it's like everything, like when you said, like, it happens from you and it comes from you. And that's such a strong thing, because it's true. And it's not until you look back, good and bad, and things have happened, and you're like, oh, that was because of me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, you
do you
can
know
go
that?
like, wow, I was thinking about that at that time. And look what I created. And you really can start noticing just how magical you really are. I mean, you really start going, wow, I was just thinking of that, and it happened. And then we try and grab it, and we try and analyze it, and we try, and that never works, because nothing in you stops. You as much as we want to stop,
No.
let me catch my breath. We just, the world and life and all the amazing things and our thoughts and our ideas, and it doesn't stop. We don't stop. And we think there's this, a lot of times we play that this moment right now is some preamble to something better coming. And it's like, no, this moment right now is so rich with, number one, you've never been this age before. And number two, you've never been here on this day, at this time. You've never been in this moment before, ever. And you're never going to be again.
Do you know, when you
And
say it like that, it's like,
I know.
you.
Isn't it? And that's when we go, wait. I want to look at this. And it's like, no, because you're on to the next one. You're on to the next age and next moment, next time. It just doesn't stop for you, because it's you in a natural state.
Yeah, yeah, and it doesn't, when you think it like that, it does actually blow your mind, and it's not something that you think about until you think about it or somebody expresses it, and you are like, that is so true. Like, I'm never going to be here ever again. Never.
Yeah.
That's it.
And that's just
Fleeting
you.
moments. Yeah.
That's you in every single solitary moment of existence. Is this brand new being constantly, and you can't stop it. You can't step out of it. People are like, oh, be mindful, be in the now. And I'm like, well, good luck trying to get out of that. And instead of calling it the now, I call it the me, because it is. Again, it's all about me. It comes back to me. I've never been this age before. I've never been here before. I've never had these thoughts before. I've never interacted with this person like this before. And in the very next moment, it's the exact same thing. And it's like, you are this being right here, and this is just constantly swirling around you, this new and more new and more new. And it's you in your natural environment. It's just like
Love.
mind blowing. Yeah.
It's mind blowing, and I love how you're putting that. I love it, because
Yay.
some people would maybe say, "Oh, but it's not about me; it's about the moment, and it's about this." But I love how you're saying it, because it is. Everything is about you. You're the co-creator. You're creating every moment that you're here. Like,
Yeah.
it's all. It
There's
all comes
nothing
back to you.
outside of you. We say the now as if it's something separate outside of you. And
Mhm.
at that and the cool thing is we're so good in our imagination, you can kind of imagine that. But when you take a moment to step out of all that shininess and just look at what is scientifically provable, which is, no, you've never been this age before. No, you've never been in this moment before, and you're never going to be again. It's very, very provable. And it's like, oh, this is real. And this is the state that is my anchoring state of where I am at all times. No matter whether I'm focusing or I'm distracted or whatever, I'm always here. Always. You don't have to do
Love.
anything.
No, love. So do you help guide people, Kristen? Like, do you work with people to kind of with the whole metaphysical? Or do you help guide them and kind of make them a little bit more aware of their
If I
me-ness, or
want,
what?
yeah,
What do you do then with all this knowledge and yourself and your unit? Like,
you know what do? We live.
yeah,
We live because
yeah,
we're alive, and this is being alive. This
mm-hmm,
exactly what I've explained is being alive. And I mean, I'll take people by the hand and I'll say, yeah,
uh-huh.
come on, let's go walk through my world. Let me show you how crazy it is. As if I'm giving somebody a tour of my house, right? And that's what I do. But my thing is to guide people is to assume they're lost. And I don't do that. I used to, but it never
Mm-hmm.
got me anywhere. All it did
Yeah,
was perpetuate that lost. And,
yeah,
so my thing is, this is what's fun in my world. Now tell me about your world. Tell me about what's going on with you. And I love when people get a glimpse of whatever I'm reflecting to them and
yeah,
seeing that, wow,
yeah, like
I
a mirror.
love that.
Mm-hmm,
I know I
mm-hmm.
live for that. I call that breaking the brain. I live for that. Because I that's my favorite place, right? Is that space of, oh wow. That's like my favorite drug. I love it. Yeah. Some people go for dopamine hit. I go for the metaphysical hit. And it's of no consequence whether
Mm-hmm.
you know this or not, whether you live here or not, whether you see this or not, because you can't stop existing. And I think I asked Michelle this before, is do you have any memory of not existing?
Yeah. And it's like,
No, I'm
no,
asking you. Yeah, no,
no,
no.
no,
And
no.
there's this fleeting thing that goes by of no. And then
Yeah, yeah,
in
it's like you
rush,
think
yeah.
about it. It's like, no.
Yeah. And then in rushes your mind to go, oh, no, 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 no. Look over here at the shiny things. Let's think of something else. And it's like, wait, no, stop. Let's go back to that because I have no memory of not existing. And so we could say, well, that's simply because there was a time in your life where you weren't, you were too young to have memories or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And I find that the biggest cop out there. I'm like, okay, you can play there. Or you get the people that are like, oh, I have past life memories. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, that's fine, but who is having these memories? Who's having these past life memories? Is this version of you suddenly stopped existing and that other version just suddenly took over? No, it's always you watching the
Yes,
movie, having the memory. It's always you. So this is what I mean. It
yes.
always comes back to you. And even if you're trying to play in non-duality where you're stripping away the ego, this is the
Mm-hmm.
ego fighting for is this and that. And I'm like, but what if it's not? What if the ego is not fighting for anything? It's the distraction that's fighting against existence. What is absolutely obvious, because
Yeah.
no matter what distraction and shiny thing is going on where you think, oh, now I understand, now I've come to the realization, you can always, especially like in non-duality where you're stripping away the self to
Yeah.
find
Mm-hmm.
the consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, but once again, who's doing the stripping of away?
Yeah.
Who's removing
The
themselves?
layers or
And
whatever. Yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
who's doing that? It's always you. It's always you.
Yeah.
Who's observing this so-called consciousness? Who's always doing or seeing or experiencing? It's always you. It's always the man behind the curtain, which is always you. And it's the most
Yeah.
simple. It's absolute simplicity. And sometimes we don't like that. We want more whiz bang. We want more.
More.
Yeah, we want the sparkly and the fireworks, and we love those aha moments of wow, we love that. And okay, that's fine. But trust me, this too shall pass, and it'll be you that's still here. Because like I said, everything comes in and goes out. These grand epiphanies, these grand ideas, they come in, and then you forget about them because you suddenly spilled your coffee all over yourself or whatever. And then you're like, oh my God, what was that? What was that? That's the big red sign that you were off on yet another sparkly distraction, which is fine, but you'll never have that happen with you. You can be in the middle of an earthquake. You can be in the middle of an absolute catastrophe. You're never going to lose you. You're never going to forget about you. It's always right here.
I love that. And do you know, I've actually got "this too shall pass." I've got it tattooed on me. I've got "this
Oh,
too shall." I need to
I
show
love
you.
it.
I'm
I
getting the arms
love
out.
it.
I'm getting the arms out, Kristen. I've got it there.
This too
"This
shall
too shall
pass.
pass."
And I'm talking not just the bad, but the good too. This too shall
Exactly.
pass.
Yeah, that's
It's
why I
like,
got
you,
it. Yeah.
yeah,
To
yeah,
remember
just to
the good and the bad. Yeah.
yeah, and that it's that when it really comes down to it, there is no good and bad. There really isn't. It's just an experience that's going to interact with you, and then it
Yeah.
goes, and it
Yeah, it's a
goes.
moment. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. This
Yeah.
too shall pass, and
This too shall pass.
it really is just such a powerful reminder, especially when you're caught in the middle of something gnarly, especially if you think it's out, something out there, such as a government bombing another government or whatever, and you're like,
Yeah.
World War III, and you can
Yeah.
kneel before that. Or you can rise above and just say, this too shall pass. We've been through worse. We've been through way
Yes.
worse than this. None
Yep.
of this has ever outlasted me. Ever.
No.
None of it. Which
Yep.
really shows that there's nothing bigger than you because you are the one constant.
Yeah. You're the one constant. You're the one constant thing.
Yeah.
One constant thing.
Only one.
And that's it. And then in any moment, it's just a fleeting experience, isn't it? Good, bad, whatever it's there.
Yeah.
And there's so many things not in our control, and like you said, not to get sucked in by events, but bringing it back to you. Just that's it. It's just you.
Yeah, just coming, and that's one of the most powerful things you can do when you're spinning out, when you've forgotten, when you're just like, it's like, okay, wait a minute, where am I? Okay, I'm right here. Me, not some invisible soul, not some consciousness somewhere else. This blonde, green eyes, this right here, because not only do you have no memory of yourself not existing, you've got no memory of this body, this person not existing.
Yeah.
With this name. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
And
That's it.
it really is. So in that moment, it's like, well, why do I age? Why do I this? Why do I that? Because you are alive. That is what being alive is. I'm not talking a heartbeat. I'm talking being. Just what this is all the being, the not being able to control, the desire to control, the want for this, the strong desires. It's all just the juice of you.
Yeah.
And because we're surrounded by the one-dimensional, such as TVs and things we're reading, or our cell phones or anything. And there
So
are
many
people that are like, well, this
distractions.
is distraction. Yeah, this is two-dimensional. This is three-dimensional. I'm just like, keep it simple. Keep it simple. It's either flat or it's so infinitely dimensional, and that's you. That's you. You are so infinitely dimensional. And there are ideas and there's memories and there's all that. Those are all the one-dimensional things. They're very flat. They're very flat. They don't have the juice, the flavor, all the colors that you have. And so to give these flat things, the importance we can do is pretty amazing that we can do that. But number one, not necessary. And if you do catch yourself doing it, okay, That's okay. You don't stop existing.
Yeah. You don't. You don't. Oh, and Kristen, do you do talks? Like, do you do things to like, because the way you speak, you're so powerful and passionate and like you command attention, like you,
Yeah.
me, yeah, but
Yeah.
you do, which is amazing. You've just got that natural ability. Is that something
Yes.
that you do?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
my happy place. And honestly, I do more and more online stuff, such as, like I guess we call them webinar. I call them
yeah,
yeah, webinar. But see, again, live, when you're one on one, when you're up on a stage and there's all these visceral people all around you, oh, that is something we should never lose. It is. It's saturating yourself in the colors,
yeah.
and that is alive. That is literally live. And so I always say live is where I thrive, because I love being on a stage and interacting. And I don't want to be telling people what to do. The last thing we need is another bullet point. These are the steps to take.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, no. We what we really need is somebody to, like I do, take you by the hand and say, "Here, let's walk through my life. Now, what do you want to do? Tell me about yours. Tell me about your epiphanies. Tell me what you're feeling right now. Show me your aliveness." And that, yeah, I love it. I love it.
That's powerful. It's powerful when you've got that connection, other
Yeah.
people right there with you and the energy. That's powerful.
Yeah.
So powerful.
Yeah, you just, you realize that nothing in your reality is bigger than you. And you
Mhm.
can't help but, just put forward this energy.
No, no, no. And when's the last time you done like a live one then? Since you do it online, has it been a
Oh,
while?
up on stage. It was
Up on the
before
stage, yeah.
2020. Yeah, I haven't been up on the stage since before 2020, and I miss it.
I was going to
And
say we need to get you back there.
I
You
know,
need
I
to.
know. I know that, a lot of the stages that I used, everything was closed down, and a lot of things didn't open back up. And so then I started doing a lot of online and
Yeah.
podcasts and all that. I started doing lots of that. And it's easy, but again, it's like, no, I need to get back up on live, because man, when I'm live, this ain't nothing.
Yeah.
This is nothing. It's like we go on a rocket ship ride. It's so much fun.
Oh, absolutely. I could totally see that for you. I could totally
Oh
see that
yeah.
for you. You doing that. And yeah, just bringing out that experience and that inside that experience right there at that right moment in that time, never going to happen again. Love.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so does that, a lot of that all closed down? It's not opened back up then over where, because where are
Well,
you again, Kristen? Where are you
I'm in
again?
California. I'm in
Mm-hmm.
Southern California. And so whether they've opened back up or not, I don't know. I would, it's the lady that used to book me, she stopped
Uh-huh.
doing it. So
Uh,
everything just came to this halt.
yeah.
But I didn't, and again, it's like, this too shall pass. What's going to be on the other side? Because that's the
Uh-huh.
biggest thing, is we don't stop. We've never, and I'm talking death too. Death is no different of a state than when you are, states of being, states of mind. We have so
Uh-huh.
many different labels, like I am grandma or mom or business owner. There's so many different states, plus the
Uh-huh.
little states, such as the coffee drinker or the gardener or the driver or whatever. There's all these states, and death is also another state. It's just this experience that you get to have, but it's not this halting. It's not a halting of you, and I mean you. I mean, hello, body,
Mm. Yeah.
breathing, hair, cells, all this. It's not a halting of you. It's just another experience that passes, comes in, interacts with you, and then goes on, and you continue interacting. And so we have this continuity in our minds that born, live, end. No. Number one, we have no memory of this, but number two, and it's like, well, yeah, but I watched my mother die, so death must be real. It's like, no, the person you were interacting with, you were done. And so you gave yourself this experience of a death because you believe in that. Just like when you used to believe in Santa Claus, you used to have some experiences you probably don't remember anymore. But back then it was real. It was very, very real. And then all of a sudden you didn't need to believe in Santa Claus anymore, and you let it go. And there's, the belief in a God or a source or a universe or whatever. It interacts with you as long as you need it. And then when you're done, it's no longer a part of your reality. Death is the exact same way. And I've had 3 near-death experiences, but 2 of them that really showed me this. And it just showed me that this too shall pass. And but also when you walk from one part of your house to, let's say, the bathroom, to the living room, the person you were in the bathroom, you're never going to be that person again, right? You're never, ever, ever going to be that person again. That person's gone and dead. That's death. The person I was 5 minutes ago talking to you guys, and we were talking about being live and all that, she's dead. She's gone. I will never be her again. I'm never going to be able to be that age again. I'm never, ever going to be able to talk in that exact same way again. Everything is, and that's death. And so how many of those do you go through a day?
That's crazy. That's mind-blowing when you think it like that. I'm like, we're going to be renewed by the time we do this podcast.
We already have been,
We're renewed. We're going to be so many different versions by the time this is done.
Yeah. So you let it go. You can, you let it go. Or you can continue to talk about it and want, like, who doesn't want to be who they were at 30 years old or whatever, I'm 59.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yeah, who doesn't want to be that? But see, that's just it. You can't. There's no possible way. And just like there's no possible way to be the person I was 30 seconds ago. It's just not possible. And it's not because of time, and it's not because of non-time. It's because of me. Me. This is me. This forever, constantly new being.
Yeah. Oh, and how would you feel comfortable talking about your near-death experiences, Kristen?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
what
There's actually
what
I know.
happened? I was like,
There's
near-death experiences. Like, oh,
Well, there's a podcast called Dearly Not So Departed, and it's all about death and dying. And I went through all 3 in that. But basically, because we love stories like that, right? Don't we just
yeah.
love
Just when you said
the
that, I was
juicy,
like,
fun stories? And the thing I learned from them is it's not dying was no more than stubbing my toe. It sucks, but you get to the other side. And the thing about just the belief in death and what we've been taught about death and what shows on TVs and everything is we have this grand, story.
yeah.
There's some big recovery, and now roll credits. And that's not life. That's not who we are. So one of my near-death experiences was driving off of a cliff, literally driving like Thelma and Louise in the air, driving off a cliff.
Holy
And then
shit.
in the next, I know. And then in the next minute, I was further up the road, parked on the side of the road, thinking, what happened? What happened? And looking back at the spot where I had gone over the road and kind of looking for myself and just being in the space of, okay, here we are with, this was near death number 3. And I hate the term near death because it's not near death. It is death. It's like either you are or you aren't. And I was, and then I'm not. And in that moment, I mentally thought to myself, or I heard, or whatever you want to call it, have you ever not existed? Do you have any memory of not existing? And I was just like, no. And I've been a medium. I've played down every avenue.
Yeah.
And but that was the first time that I just was like, oh, so this is death. Death is just this is it. And the other time was a drowning. And what happens is, and this is what happened, I'm in my car and I'm looking and I'm having this grand epiphany. And then I got to start my car up and go. Now I need to finish going why I was on that road to begin with, which was to go grocery shopping. I got to go grocery shopping. And I'm still in this state of wow, but the world doesn't stop. Life doesn't stop. You don't stop. Now I got to go grocery shopping. Now I got to get my groceries home and put them in the refrigerator and get to work. And life doesn't stop. And this is what I mean by alive. We don't stop. We can have these amazing experiences. We give birth. And then what happens? We'll take the baby home, start changing diapers, feeding, cleaning the house. Life doesn't stop. And and so that's
it's a continuous thing, and you can't remember being born. That's one thing. As babies, we can never remember being born.
because you weren't.
Yeah, that's it. Can't remember.
You weren't.
Can't remember.
Yeah. You get to play with these things called memories, but they're just thoughts. They're just thoughts that are here to support a state you're interacting with. So, it's like maybe I ran over a squirrel last night. No, but I killed that squirrel last night. Well, that memory just came up right now to support the argument for death, if I was to be arguing about death. And so it's just, you are amazing natural manifester. You manifest memories. Like if I was to go around the corner and go in the bathroom right now, I'm going to manifest a whole bunch of memories of walking in that bathroom how many times? And I always knew the toilet was on this side and the towels were these colors and blah, 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 blah. You are constantly manifesting what feels like this continuous life, this continuous movement, when actually you're just this being, right? This brand new being. Always, 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 always this brand new being. Not in time, not out of time. A third thing, which is you, the me.
That's crazy. See, when I think about it, I'm like, it's like when you get your new sofa that you're going to sit on, you've picked the colour, you know what colour it is, and you remember it, and then you walk in and out and you know what colour it is. So you're always
It's really this
you're
world,
playing a game with yourself, eh?
Always. And I love that you say game.
Yeah,
I love that you say
a game. It's actually this is the colour of my cushions that I have, and this is the texture, and I remember that, so I'm going to come back and I know they're going to be like that, Yeah, you're playing
this
a
is
game.
my tattoo on my arm right here that I've always had. It's really amazing when you just slow your roll and go, oh, and they're just once, maybe a week or once a day or whatever, just going, oh, I'm brand new. I've never been this age before. This is so cool. Okay, now I got to go make some coffee or whatever. It really, your world just shifts. You start, and I get people that are like, oh, the glitches in the matrix and this and that. And I'm like, okay. But you start experiencing little glitches, little things that make you go, oh, I see you. I see the shifting things around, and we see them all the time. We do. We really do. It's like if I was to have you turn sideways so that you weren't looking in the mirror, in the screen, and I was to ask you, can you see what's behind you? Well, of course the answer's no. And it's like, okay, now feel what's behind you. And what's really interesting is what you feel is an absence. You'll really feel, if you're not looking in a mirror and you're not looking at anything, you really will feel that there's nothing back there. And then you can go, well, wait a minute. No, there's a wall and there's that. And all of a sudden you can feel that. And you turn, oh, see, proof, there's a wall there. And it's like, okay, so no. But there's times, if you've ever been driving, and, like I have a grandson. When my grandson's behind me in the car, you can feel that. You feel that energy. You know that. And when they're not there, you feel that. You feel that absence. You feel that difference. And you really start getting very good at feeling your world around you, feeling the assumptions that around that corner is a hallway that leads to another bedroom or this or that. But if I was to feel right now, I can feel that there's nothing there. It's just a blank void. It's very, you get really good at playing with this and interacting with your reality. And just that in this moment right now, the swirling energy around you that you're plucking this and that out of and creating, just like a radio.
Like the frequencies.
Yeah.
And that's so true.
Yeah.
And you can almost feel as well, people say, oh, I can feel that person looking at me. It's like sometimes you feel like they say, they'll say, it's like they're burning it at the back of my head. Like, is that person looking at me? I can feel them looking. And you're like, yeah, they are. Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
So you can feel, you can feel someone, that energy coming in. You actually can. If you tap into it, you can really feel what's there.
Yeah, and what you're feeling is you. It's the frequency of you creating all that, doing all that. There's no person behind you glaring at you until you start playing that game. Boom, now all of a sudden you felt it. And it's like, wow. I can feel it.
I can feel it. I'm actually going to start waking up now. Normally I'll wake up and I'm grateful. I've got my gratitude. I'm here another day. I'm going to actually start waking up now and saying, how cool. I've never actually been this age before. Like, how cool. Bring on today.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Yeah. It has nothing to do with getting older, because this age thing isn't in time. It's not a time thing. It's a you. It's, it's that me. It's just an aspect of yourself. It's part of the newness of the me. And, we just don't have a word for it. So we have to use words like, I've never been this age before, or new. But it has nothing to do with time. It just has to do with who you are in all moments. Try and get out of it. No, you can't. It's like, you do. You're like, okay, wait a minute. I want to step out of this constant newness. I want to be slow down and take a look at things. And it's like, no.
Yeah. No, you're not allowed. That won't happen.
No.
That's not part of the game.
Yeah. I know, and it's fun. It's freeing. It's so freeing. It's so freeing because you just
freeing thing.
Yeah, because if you forgot to be grateful, if you forgot to meditate, if you forgot to do your intentions, if you forgot to be positive, and all these things we think are so important, do you stop being brand new?
That's absolutely not.
You're always brand new.
Not. Absolutely
so there's
not.
no such thing as momentum. Law of attraction. Oh, momentum. No, it can't be. There can't be momentum because you're brand new in every moment. So there's nothing from a previous moment that's going to affect this now moment. They can't be. It's complete. It was fun to play in while I played in it. And then it was like, no, that makes no sense. Okay. I'm not worried about that anymore then.
Yeah, and that's nice it'll be nice for people to hear who find it hard to let go of situations. Because, really? Because then you're like...
I do.
Because people hold on to situations or things and so tightly, and it's like, it's gone. It's gone.
Yeah.
It's not coming back. It's gone. Like you said, you're new, and just maybe somebody hearing this conversation from a different mind flip, then will be like, well, why am I holding on to something so tightly?
Yeah. Because you can. Ready to let go now?
Yeah, just let go, that's it.
Well, and it's just like, if you were hit over the head and you got amnesia and you forgot everything about you that you thought was so important to remember, are you going to stop being you? No, you're still you. Even if you have no memory about you, you're still you.
Yeah.
You can't stop this. No, nothing you do can stop this.
No, you
So
can't stop
yeah, be
the
worried.
U train
Yeah,
rolling.
yeah, no, this train doesn't roll backwards either.
No.
You can try to think about that if you want, but it ain't gonna happen. And it's so funny. It's like, the sun rises and there's like this gorgeous sunrise, and you're like, oh, I gotta take a picture and stop. Stop so I can run and get my camera and come back and take a picture of these exact colors. Yeah, how's that work out for you? It just keeps going. It just keeps going. The sun keeps going through the whole day. And it's like, you can try and stop it if you want. Go for
Yeah.
it. How's that work out for you? And it doesn't. It doesn't. And so you really, one of the things I love about being in this mind is that anytime somebody comes, or I'm online and I see some influencer saying something about manifestation or whatever, I love that there's just this aspect of me that rolls her eyes and goes, yeah, I remember those days. I remember when I used to be like that and used to believe that. And where did it get me? And this is the biggest thing about the metaphysical is it's okay to play in the invisible, whether it's God, source, dragons, whatever. It's okay to play there. But when you're in a space where you really need an answer and you're sick to death of praying and not getting an audible answer other than, oh, there's a butterfly going by, there's your answer. Yeah, I don't think so. This always answers you. He's always right here, willing to have a audible conversation with you. Always. And is never gonna say, you're too horrible a person, I want nothing to do with you. It's never gonna say that to you. It's always, always, always here for you. And all these other things, they're gonna pass. They're going to pass. Like, this too shall pass. Whether it's your belief, whether it's your belief in some God out there or whatever, this too shall pass. And what's left behind, and you're going to think, no, I'll always be this way. I'll always think this. Yeah, I'll talk to you in about 20 years. You tell me how that's going. And it's while all of that, all these things that we think are so important and are the answer to the universe come and go. And once they've gone and you're desperately reaching for them and you can't hold them anymore, who's here? Who's always right here?
Yeah. It's so important actually to just tune in to you more, because it's always looking for answers on the outside, but it's always, the answers are always there within you. I love that.
Yeah,
It's so, and do
they
you know,
really
it sounds so simple, but it's so hard for everybody to grasp, really, isn't it? Do you know?
You know why it's so hard? Is because we're trying to make it hard, because we believe that it has to be hard, that the answer must be hidden. It's
Some secret or
only
something.
available. Yeah, it's only available for the special few who, have sat on a mountaintop for 20 years or whatever BS. And that's why we zoom right past it. That's why we never even saw, even though it's right here in front of us, staring at us, laying next to us, never has left us. And that's like when I try to explain it and people are like going, oh, so you mean like a soul? And I'm like, no. No, I'm not talking about a soul. There's no such thing as a soul. It's you. And how you understand this is this. If what you believe in and you're thinking of, is it right here with you all day long? Or do you suddenly bang your knee on something and now you've forgotten about it? You could be in the middle of your prayers and you're like feeling the unconditional love of God and you're just glowing. And then all of a sudden there's an earthquake. Where'd God go? Because you're still there. You're still there,
Yeah.
and you've just forgotten everything. That wonderful glowy feeling, gone. And that's alive. That's
Yeah.
alive. I'm not trying to take like people's joy away from them, because you can go back to it at any time. You could play there anytime. But this this is so much more of a kick.
Yeah.
There is so much unconditional love, wisdom, and all you have to do is just go, oh, where am I? I'm right here. Okay.
Yeah.
You're always right
And
here.
that's what I was going to ask. I was going to say, for somebody who's like, okay, I want to start playing with what Kristen's saying, like this sounds cool, right? So for somebody that's never used anything like that before, because they've maybe thought like a soul, or the thought of, different things outside of themselves,
Yeah.
or it's way deep in them that it's not them. Like, how would you say just a couple of things to start like connecting with themselves again and actually seeing themselves through this eyes?
Pretty
Like,
much
have you got
everything we've already said today.
yeah,
You
yeah, yeah.
know,
Like, would you wake up and start,
it's,
like,
yeah,
would your wake
you
up
just,
be that? Yeah.
there's these formulas that we've been taught that will help us find what's missing.
Hmm.
And that's why we miss this, because we think it's missing. We
Hmm.
think it's too simple. It's right here. You're talking this right here. No, that's too simple. We've spent there was a time when you knew this. But we've spent so much of a fun game of this, not this. It's got to be sparklier. It's got to
Hmm.
be shinier. It's got to
Hmm.
be perfecter. It's got, it's
Hmm.
got to be
Hmm.
all these things. And it can't get sick, and it can't stub its toe, and it can't be, God wouldn't spill, coffee on itself. Well, did you spill coffee on yourself? Yeah. Well, there, God just spilled coffee on itself. So there you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's nowhere to search, because it's right here. It's what's
Hmm.
talking. It is the absolute epitome of self-centeredness, vain, egotistical. That's it. And we've
Hmm.
been told forever, don't look there. How wonderful is
Yes.
that?
Hmm.
What a
I
way to
know.
hide it,
I know.
and it's just right here. It's not anything other than what's right here. Take a look in the mirror. Poke yourself in the face, whatever. You're right here. You're right here. And you've never left you.
Yeah.
That
I
little
love
invisible
that.
soul you're looking for, that's
Yeah.
left you plenty of times.
Yeah.
But this has never left you.
I love how you put that as well. Just like it's like the egotistical side of yourself, or the egotistic and all that. And it's like
Yeah.
that's been played as like a bad thing. Don't
No.
be in your ego. Don't do this. And it's like, but yeah, it's you. Yeah.
Yeah. Children are, for those of us that have, or mothers or fathers, when
Hmm.
your baby's first born and you're holding that little child in your hand, and you're feeling this unbelievable new feeling you've never felt before, and we'll label it unconditional love, it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming. And we think that child is the bringer of that. No, it's just, it's just a place for you to create a new feeling for yourself to have an experience with. But it's, you would never call that child egotistical, even though
Yeah.
that child, everything revolves around that child. Everything.
Yes.
It's like, well, of course, cry and I'm here. We would never say that's egotistical. And yet it's the epitome of it. That child is 100% only aware of itself and its needs. And that's perfectly okay with us. Perfectly okay. That little child can poop all over us, throw up on us, and it's perfectly okay. It's like, this is perfectly okay. And so we bring to ourselves these examples of,
Hmm.
that is the ultimate self-centered area. And we're like, well, but no, that's not egotistical. That's not self-centered. That's not narcissistic. That's not vain. Yes, it is. Yes, it
Yeah.
is. It's the beauty of that area. You know, we've given these words such negative connotations, and that's fine. But now's the invitation to give it a new definition. Give it a new game to play. It's your employee. Give it a new role to play. It's asking for it.
Get your employee. Let's give it a new game to play. It's like, right, what role can I give this now? Yeah. And
Yeah.
yeah, and it's so true. And when you've got like for babies and even children when they're toddlers or when they're growing up and stuff, it's like that's how things go. But you would never, ever say that because it's like, but that's their needs. But your needs are always the same at no matter what stage you're at through your life. You're always changing, always evolving, always growing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And you know, it's very interesting. There came a time where the word lonely,
Mm.
I've always been very much an independent person. I'm the youngest of six, so
Well,
I've been
yeah. Oh,
blessed
wow.
with being alone all the time. Yeah, when the sixth kid comes along, they're done. Nobody knows where she is. I was like, I thought you were watching her. No, I thought you were. And, you know, so I was really blessed with being alone all the time and having lots and lots and lots of time with myself. And as I grew up, I went to boarding schools. And so I've had, I'm a loner, if you're going to call it. But see, the thing is the word lonely has never ever, I've never understood that word. I've never understood being lonely, and because I've never felt it. And
Yeah.
I realized recently, I think the reason I've never felt it is because I've always had such a strong relationship with myself,
With
with
yourself.
me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
there
Mm-hmm.
is no, you can't be lonely when you are right here, when
Yeah.
everything that is this world is right here.
Mm-hmm.
And and I'm always there for me. I'm always willing to talk to me and entertain me and say, yeah, that chocolate cake would give us a great dopamine hit. Let's do it. You know, I, so I've never understood lonely. And so when I get people that are like, oh, I'm lonely, I'm like, I'm sorry. Would you like to have a cure for that?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely an understanding that you know, if you do believe in a God or a source, would God or source ever be lonely? No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
It's just people having a detachment to themselves, pretty much.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
they
having
sure
that
can. How
relationship with
fun.
themselves. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's, you know, again, that's being alive.
Yeah.
And AI
Yeah.
couldn't do that. You know, the computer can't do that. All these beings on TV, they can't do that.
Mm,
And it's
mm,
how amazing that you can have that detachment from yourself.
yeah.
Because is it really? No, it's a
Yeah.
game because you're not
Yeah.
detached from yourself. It's a total game you're playing with yourself.
Yeah. I want to go and give myself a dopamine hit with some chocolate cake now. Now you put that in my head.
I
No, no, yeah, now for my dinner tonight, instead of having a
know.
normal adult dinner,
Works for
I want to
me.
have chocolate cake for
I know. I put that in there.
You've popped that in my head. I'm going to go to bed
Yeah,
with
I know.
chocolate cake and I'm going to wake up with I have never been this age again, ever. And this is me, blessed. I'm going to start playing the
Yeah,
game. I love
yeah,
that. Honestly, that's such a
yeah,
cool thing to
yeah,
start actually waking it up and doing. Yeah, I'm going to totally do that.
yeah. Or even just like going for a walk and just realizing that I'm never going to see that tree in that particular light in its particular age ever again. I'm never going to, you know, and everything around you is brand new and you're never going to see it just like you are right now. It's so crazy. It's so much fun.
It's so much fun because it's looking at it through a totally different lens. It's like for the first time. It's
Yeah.
like, really. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. You really, and that will bring, you were asking, you know, what's a good thing to, that will bring you into more awareness with yourself more than anything. That's just such a powerful space, because it's provable. And this is the most important part is, we talk about angels and this and that, but when has anybody ever really seen one, interacted with one? You can say, oh, I saw an angel in my toast or whatever, but it's like, yeah, did you really? This is provable. I mean, scientifically, you can prove that you've never been this age before and you never will again. And it's like, oh, well, this is real. This is real. And so you go for a walk and all of that is real.
Yeah. It's
And you don't have to meditate for hours to find it.
No, it's just being totally in the present and just really enjoying that right now for what it is right now. Yeah, it's magic.
Yeah.
It is magical. Yeah, I
It,
do that I do that
it's
sometimes.
real magic.
Yeah, but I'd love to actually. Now you're saying that, I'm like, I need to start playing this game more. And I play that game if I do go for like a walk, if I'm by myself and I've got the trees and you really look at all the different things and you're really taking it in right now, right in that second for what it is. But actually,
But you don't even have to do that. We love to make things a process. We love to make things like this. Oh, I've got to come into the now. Well, when are you ever not in the now? Hello, you could be so lost in your memories, you're still doing it from right now. But when you're going for a walk and you're just observing and thinking,
observing it.
yeah, I've never been this age, and now I've never been this age, and this is so fun. And you just keep it light. Keep it light. Don't make it a process. Don't make it something you can do right or you can do wrong, because you can't. You can't do it wrong. It's impossible. Try, like we said before, try to get away from it. You can't.
Yeah, and you can.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so refreshing looking at it like that. It really, really is. It's going to make a
I
lot of
agree.
people be like, yeah, it is. It's so refreshing. I think it'll make a lot of people be like, do you know what? It is a process, and I actually do it myself without thinking, because I'm doing it as a process. And but I suppose it's because I maybe zone out. You kind of get distracted by the shiny things, and you zone out of things,
And that's cool.
Yeah, that's it. And then
And you're still doing that from the now. You're still distracted because that's what being alive is. Instead of looking at these aspects of yourself as broken, or, oh, I've got to get rid of this, or I have to stop doing that, just understand that this is part of being alive, because that never works anyway. You can't get rid of these parts of yourself, and you can't stop being you. You just can't. Just like you can't stop that sun from moving through the sky. And so it gives you the freedom to just go, oh, I don't have to worry about that. And 5 minutes later, you'll find yourself worrying about it again. And that's okay. You don't stop being you. That's you.
Oh, and you're so special. You've got such a
Thank
lovely, you really are. You've got such a lovely, refreshing, real way of just taking it all in and just expressing it as it is, because it's fantastic. And we do get
I'll tell
distracted, and you
ya.
say it's nice and you say it's fine and that's okay. And it is learning to say that's always going to be there and it's okay. It's lovely. I love it.
Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. We're always, and that's the coolest thing, is you can always like go back to that. Have I ever not existed? Do I have any memory of not existing? No. How crazy is that? Okay, well, there's a freedom right there too. There's just all this invitation to take a moment and just relax. And because in the next moment you won't be anymore, and that's okay. But this is 59 years of seeking and seeking and seeking and trying to be better, and trying to please some invisible being somewhere that somebody told me is there, and never being enough, and never being good enough, and never being smart enough, and never being high vibing enough, and never being enough, and just finally saying, fuck you all.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah. And just going, I cannot play that game anymore, and I'm not gonna play that game anymore. I'm done with that. And what arose from that is just so much more freeing, so much more fun, and like you said, so much more real. It's
Yes,
real.
it's real. It is. And I love your realness. You've been just
Yeah, thank
fantastic.
you. Me too.
Honestly, you've just been fantastic. You really, really have. And
Oh,
it's given me so much pleasure and so many things that I've been like, that's so nice, just and so refreshing to think of things in
yes.
that way. Just so refreshing because this is part of life. We can't stop it. We can't stop anything. But the way that we perceive things, the way we think about things, it all helps us get through. And that's such a
Yeah.
it's such a lovely way of putting it all. Love it. I just love it.
Thank you. Me too.
Oh,
Oh, thank you, Michelle. I had such a great time.
thank you. Same here. Loved it. And then I'm like, my goodness, I didn't realize you had near-death experiences and you were like, you had 6 siblings. Jeez, oh, that was.
I know. I know. I mean, and there's so much more here. There's so much more here. There's such a difference when you think of yourself as the little sister
Mhm.
versus just a sister. Those are two totally different states, and they come with their own manifestations. And you get to choose
Mm.
at all times what you're going to play with in your reality. You know, are
Mhm.
you going to play with I'm old, I'm old? Really? You like that?
Yeah,
Or are you
definitely
just
not.
going to
Yeah.
play with yeah, and it's not even like defying age. It's I'm Kristen and whoever she's being right now, whatever that looks like right now. Because
Mhm.
in the next now, it's something completely different.
Mhm.
And yeah, yeah.
And and that's freeing for somebody who wants to reinvent themselves, if that's what they're saying. But they're like,
Yes.
but that's
Yes.
freeing for somebody to say, but I'm me now in a second, but it's freeing for somebody to look at it like that when they are thinking, I don't believe like what I believed before and I want to reinvent whatever that is for them. It's really refreshing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fully available. And how wonderful that they're thinking it because now they've got an invitation. They get to answer however they feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, this has been
Yay!
magic. It's a magical, magical conversation tonight. Thank you so, so much
Oh,
for reaching out. It's so
you're so
lovely to get to
welcome.
know you as well and just get this
Yeah.
conversation. We would never have crossed paths otherwise, and I'm so glad that we did.
I know. I agree. If you ever want to do a part two, we can.
Yes, let's do that. Yes, I am up for that
Yeah.
already. Yes, because we're both going to be new. We're going to be, because we're not going to be the age again, so we'll have different things.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And that's, I'll tell you, I think because again, like you said, you don't stop. So,
Mhm.
you come to what you think is like, well, how can there be anything beyond there's no such thing as death? There's a whole lot. And it keeps coming and it is new stuff all the time. And
Yeah.
yeah, I'm thinking like there's no way I can know any more. I can fit any more in here or whatever. Oh yeah. Yeah, it happens constantly.
Yeah, yeah.
Constantly.
Constant
Yeah.
state of taking things in and learning
Yeah. Yeah.
and evolving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just yeah, picking your battles,
Mhm.
where to just stop pushing against,
Mhm.
where to
Mhm.
go. I'm not
Mhm.
available for that.
Oh, 100% not. No for me. No negativity, no
Yeah.
nothing. Please leave me in my bubble.
Or, if the negativity comes your way, again, it's just a cloud. Phew, just went on by. Whatever.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what I do try to do now, to be honest, Kristen. That's definitely a thing is it's never going to stop. There's always going to be negativity. There's always going to be, shitty
Yeah.
situations and, that's never going to stop and whatever. But it's like I don't let myself overly, I mean, the emotions come up because it's there, I'm human, but I just try not I don't ride the wave too long now. I get it, I respond to it, and then I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, gotta let that go. And then that's it done.
Yeah, you don't need to let it drop you to your knees.
Yes.
You're always bigger than all of it. And you
Uh,
get to view it as that. You get to
mhm.
understand that. And I do this meditation with people where I gets you to that bigness where you viscerally can feel it. And then I shrink you back down, and I get you out there huge, and then shrink you back down. And it's amazing. You really can feel that. Oh, I do this all day long. Sometimes I'm my enormous self, and sometimes I get to play a tiny, tiny little ant being batted around by fate. Cool.
Yeah.
I don't stop.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that meditation sounds really cool.
Yeah, it's fun. In fact, if anybody
that.
wants, if you want access to it, you go to my website, clark-kristen.com. And if you sign up on my email list, you get that meditation. And another one,
fantastic.
too. Yeah. Yeah.
Fantastic.
And it's just, and the funny thing is people are like, oh, you just want email people. And I'm like, actually, I don't really send out very many emails at all. Maybe one every other month at the most, just announcing something I'm doing. But it's a way to give people stuff. Yeah,
it's a line of communication. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a line of communication, and you're given. Yeah, it's a line of communication. Yeah, absolutely. Well, great. Well, I will definitely be linking this. I'll be linking this when I send this out so people can gain access to that, because definitely it sounds like an amazing meditation that you're going to do with it. I love the whole thought of it expanding and shrinking and just really getting yourself into that.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds magic.
Yeah,
I'm signing up for that.
It really is. It's It's like you just, God, you get so big, you get enormous, and it's like, holy cow, I'm so big, I'm just so gargantuan, and it's just like, wow. And then we get to go really tight and small.
Oh, that sounds fab. I love that. And I love it. I don't do meditation overly that much, but when I do it,
me neither. I can't stand it.
Yeah, but then when I do it,
I want it to be fun.
Something for me. Yeah, and my meditation could be like if I'm driving my car and I'm just like looking around, and that's my meditation. Sometimes walking through life.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes. I'm such a good car meditator too. Yeah. Some of my best stuff comes when I'm driving. It's like, oh, I got to write that down.
Yeah, I know. I can't. I'm driving.
I know. Or when you're in the shower.
Yeah. Or just falling asleep. Yeah. All the times.
Yes. Oh, all right, my dear. Well, this was wonderful.
It was. I'd love to have you back on for part 2 at some time. Definitely.
Absolutely. Not a problem. I'd love to do it.
Well, thank you so much, Kristen, and have an amazing day, because it's evening here. So you enjoy your day, and I'll put all your details. I'll put your details. Is it? Oh, well, it's 8:20, so I'm going to go and get I'm going to maybe go and get some chocolate cake to take for my supper.
I know, I'm kind of craving it now too.
You have it for your lunch, and I'll have it for my supper, for my dinner time.
Okay, that sounds like a plan.
Like a plan. Yeah,
sure.
that's a plan. Oh, thank you so much, and have an amazing day. And I'll link all your website in. And thank you for connecting. It's been amazing conversation.
Yes, and if anybody wants to get a hold of me, you'll always find me online under Kristen M.F. Clark. And yes, the MF means what you think it means.
I wondered what that meant. I love that. Well, there we go. There's my conversation before the chat cuts off. Brilliant. I love it.
Yes.
Oh, the meaty beep. Oh, love it. Brilliant. Well done.
All righty.
Right.
Well, thank you.
You're so welcome.
Okay.
So welcome. Take care. Speak to you soon. Bye. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Thanks for tuning in to The Whole Hog with Michelle Hogg. Remember to subscribe to the channel to be kept up to date with all new episodes. Find Kristen at www.clarkkristen.com. Links in the episode.